On this episode of Huskies on the Road, we visit Books Revisited to hear about the owner's 30 years of ownership. And later, we travel to Gruber's Quilt Shop to learn how the reopening has impacted the crafting community. Buckle up, because it's time for Huskies on the Road.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Huskies on the Road. I'm Calvin Edmondson Geisel here with Mackenzie Harlan and Logan Hagelin. And today, our first location is Books Revisited, just close by here in downtown St. Cloud.
I'm excited, really. We had a blast going there. It was a great chat when we got to meet the owner. Really, it was a really unique shop. I hadn't really been to any place like it before, so I'm really excited to see what they think.
Yeah, it was a really fun time. Do you guys have any favorite book series that you were kind of on the lookout when you were there?
I didn't have anything I was looking for, but as a Star Wars fan, you see one of those big Star Wars books and you're like, oh, wow! But otherwise, I wasn't looking for much.
Not much of a book reader myself, hence why I was so excited to get to do the interview there. But my personal favorite myself was a series called Skullduggery Pleasant, so I did ask him about that on the side, but unfortunately it didn't sound like he had it. But wide collection is definitely what he did have, that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's go check it out.
Hey, John, how's it going?
Hey, yeah, welcome to Books Revisited.
My name's Logan, nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. Yeah, let me show you around a little bit.
Love to. First off, thank you very much for having us here. It's a really cool shop.
Thanks for coming.
Would you maybe be willing to share a little bit about what maybe ended up bringing us to the big shop that we have here today?
So for us, I started in 95, and we were, at that time, a much smaller shop, about 1,200 square feet. We had a little space next to what's the Paramount Theater now. But what really spurred our growth, this thing called the internet. Maybe you've heard of this. So when I started selling books in 95, there was no, we had email, but there's no Amazon, there was no eBay, there was none of that. And so all of a sudden that started coming on board. But the big thing was people could find books. Before that, if you were searching for something, you went to a used bookstore. Searching for books it was incredibly slow. It took forever. And now the internet came along. You could just, hey, I can type it in, you'll send it to me. That was that whole, information at your fingertips. And there was so much pent-up demand that in those early days, that's what we started cataloging our inventory. We were pretty early adopters of all of that. And so that's really what spurred our growth. And in 98, we moved into this space. So 3 years after we had started. And then, the business just kept expanding that way. But that's really what fueled the growth, I think, is the internet boom.
It's fun that I'm saying this too, but I've already caught multiple book covers that I've seen on albums.
Oh, really?
Like album covers. Yeah, there was an Amy Winehouse one right over there, and I recognized it.
Huh.
So that's pretty cool too. This kind of just goes to show how much comes from books as opposed to just regular media still.
Yeah.
It all starts somewhere.
I would say every day when customers come in and shop, you never know. Browsing's a pretty unique pattern, and it's just unique to human nature. When you search for a book like online, if you go to one of the online sites, they do a very good job. You put in the book you want and there it is and you order it. And the browsing is different, and to browse is to find things you don't even know you want. And it's much harder online to do that, to just browse through. It's not the same experience as walking through whether it's a library or a bookstore. You get things jump off the shelf.
You can find everything in this store, from Einstein, you've got all the way down the shelf, you get the moon landing, and then, over here, then you've got woodworking, there's jewelry, there's, if you want to find a book about anything, you don't need Google, just come to this bookstore. There's everything here. It's awesome.
Reading a physical book is a different experience. First of all, it's a tactile experience. cloth covers, leather books, pages, all of that. So just physically holding a book for me is different. When you look at like the e-readers and things like that, and is there a place for all of that? Sure. And is there room for both? I think there obviously is, because otherwise we wouldn't still be here. And I think for many people, and myself included even, we live these tech-heavy lives, and I think it's human nature. You just want to do something different. You don't, whatever your job is, and you've been looking at screens and emailing and doing, you want something analog, something that's, whether you walk the dog or knit a sweater or pick up a book. We're an independent bookstore first and foremost, and we've been here a long time. You look at what makes a downtown or a St. Cloud a city. It's really not your chain stores and your restaurants that are the same wherever you go, but it's your mom and pops. It's the passionate people that are doing the things they love every day. That's what gives the community its sort of unique sense. To run a business for 30 years, people are like, don't you get sick of it, or doesn't it get old? And it just, for me, every day is different. There's older books that come in that I've never seen before. There's newer stuff that comes out. We get great customers, and so I talk with wonderful people every day. I don't want to say it's therapy, but it's a low stress, and I'm living my dream. So.
Welcome back. And Logan, you interviewed John. How was that experience for you?
Yeah, honestly, it was really awesome. John was such an awesome guy, and really the biggest takeaway I took from any of it wasn't even the books, which was the cool part. It was the stories within. You could really tell how much he cared about interactions with all of his customers, and even when we got to learn about the global part of simply just how vast and how much he really does care about just making connections with people, and then obviously all that through storytelling, through the books. I really thought it was cool. I learned a lot. It was awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, you talk about his the diversity of his customer base. The diversity of the books he has in the store is awesome, because you can go to one end and find, everything from Roman history to World War II and then you go to the other end of the store, you've got quilting, and you've got how to make jewelry and how to do this thing, and you can find any book if you really want to. This is it's awesome to see all the stuff you can actually find in there. So, he's got diversity in his consumer base, he's got diversity in his books, he's just awesome stuff.
Perfect. Well, after this break, we'll be going over to Gruber's Quilt Shop.
Stops, changes directions, comes up with 20 seconds left, loops around, shot! He scores! Overtime game winner for
We young and we excellent. Can't nobody in here represent these issues and these problems every day, but we ain't stressing it. Culture, we the family, so we super blessed with it. Hoping that you understand the vision through the messages, the culture. Welcome to the culture, yeah. The culture, ooh. Welcome to the culture.
And welcome back, everybody. As we move to our next location, we head over to Waite Park to Gruber's Quilt Shop. Guys, favorite arts and crafts if we were to maybe get into the mood? Mackenzie, what do you think?
I gotta go either crocheting or sewing, honestly. I learned to crochet during the 2020 era when we had nothing to do, and then I learned to sew from my grandma, who started me off on quilting and all that. So this is really fun for me because I have been to Gruber's multiple times before. So yeah, and then garment quilt sewing and just quilting in general is so fun.
Oh, Calvin, what about you?
I really like making flowers and things with pipe cleaners, because you don't need to have a whole lot of technique to do it. You can just have fun making, whatever you want, however you feel like. So I really like doing that.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, myself, when I was back in middle school, I remember we did a little charity day, and we did these little knot blankets to charity. So I thought that was gonna be similar to quilting, but sure did we obviously learn a lot more when we went there. But why don't we go ahead and go to the shop now?
Hi, Hi.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Jill.
I'm Calvin.
Nice to meet you, Calvin.
Hi, Logan. Nice to meet you.
Logan, nice to meet you. Welcome to Gruber's Quilt Shop.
You mentioned that you worked here before you owned the place. How did you originally get involved with Gruber?
I worked for the original owner, Sue Poser, who had it for about 40 years, right? So her family had it initially. I was part of the crew that during 2020, when things kind of shut down, since I lived locally, I could be part of the pod, you know, that masked up and worked here and kept things going. And those years were a few difficult years. So then I actually sort of semi-retired, you know, quit. When the last owners shut the place down here in July of 25, my friend Joy and I had already been looking for a project to do together. Then this place shut down and we thought, oh my goodness, you know, somebody's got to be in St. Cloud. We started nosing around whether we could get into a different space in this building, but then this space was sitting here empty, well, with actually inventory for a while. And we just kind of kept snooping around and asking the property people and the previous owner what was going on. And by end of October, we found out we could get a lease on this actual space and some of the old inventory. And so we just kind of bought it and hit the ground running. Let me show you the long arms,
all right,
Calvin. So these we call the long arm machines. Essentially, they're just a big sewing machine, right, with a long arm. Space here, and they're mounted on two different platforms that move around. So one is the X coordinate, one's the Y coordinate, or maybe I have that backwards, I don't know. And there's a computer and it tells the motors somehow, I don't know, how to move around and stitch patterns onto the 3 layers of the quilt sandwich. So there's the backing, the batting, which is the fluffy stuff in the middle,
right,
and then the top. And so that's a service that we can provide for people, because sometimes when you make a big quilt like this, it gets to be a little big to handle on your little machine at home.
Right.
You know, some people will try to do that, but it can be a really nice feature for those that want to do it. So we do charge, it's just a flat rate, 2.5 cents per square inch to do it. But it's also a very, popular service, just generally in the area. We're not the only ones. There's lots of individuals and private people who do this too. But we have the 2 machines, so we can offer this as a service ourselves.
And you also mentioned that in the last couple of years, a couple of other shops or kind of like this, some craft shops have closed down.
Oh gosh, yes.
How has that affected how you run this business?
Oh, it's been new. It's been new. A few years ago, a place called Crafts Direct in town shut down, and that was a very large craft and hobbies shop. The Joann's franchise, as many people will know, also shut down nationwide finally. Even though Michael's is picking up a little bit of the franchise stuff from Joann's, they don't necessarily have a way to do it too quickly. We are here, we reopened, we can respond fairly quickly, and so yes, we're getting all kinds of Joann shoppers, as I expected, I anticipated that, but I don't entirely know what was missing, right? What's missing here for the community. So I ask a lot of customers what they need. I can see what I'm calling the Joann's effect. So when I buy batting, that middle stuffing layer, it flies off the shelf, and that's a little new to me too, so I'm trying to figure out how to keep that in. And basic thread, right? White thread, beige thread, light gray, all these things. I'm learning to order twice as much every time, if not 3 or 4 times as much than I anticipated. So it's having an effect.
Yeah, that's really interesting. What I'm hearing is the main goal of the shop is to
continue what's already been going on so that the community can keep itself established and it doesn't have to go anywhere else. It can stay here and it can maintain itself here.
Yes, quilting, fabric, textile work, garment work, you know, there's a lot of sensory feedback that you can't get when you're shopping online, right? So even, again, if somebody buys a special piece, like a special little panel or something, online, they still want to come in and touch and feel and see the colors and make sure they jive with what they're putting together. I think that's important, along with the entire buying local thing, because for every dollar that you spend in a local store like this, right, that is actually locally owned and maintained and we employ people, 67 cents of that dollar stays in the community. As opposed to when you go to a big box store, maybe 15, 20 cents, I forget the exact number, stays in the community, and then when you shop Amazon, only 10 cents maybe stays in the community, and that's, you know, that's the delivery drivers or what have you. I think it's very important for the local sewing community, you know, the economy, and just for the fun of it, frankly. We do try to keep an extensive collection of you know, infant, baby, children's toys, teddy bears themed fabrics and novelty fabrics going, because when people are commemorating life events, essentially.
It's a very unique way to make sure nobody's forgotten, that's for sure. So.
Yeah, people make teddy bears of the old clothes too, so you can hold
so
them.
Not only is it art, but even obviously just the fact that it's art that can comfort a person literally, whether it be just heat or simply just, you know, decoration. It kind of just fits together to fit that emotion part.
Yeah,
Feel that.
Stop, you're gonna make me cry.
That's the art of quilting, right?
Yeah, it is. No, it is. It's part of it.
Man, that was such an awesome experience, you know? Like, what do you guys think were some of your favorite things to see when you were there?
Honestly, I was just like, I mean, obviously I've been there before, but like the amount of fabric that is in there still surprises me every single time I went. And so I was just like kind of looking around at all the fabric, and I see all this like kid fabric and it's like really cute. And then I was like, okay, that'd be like a cute little baby blanket maybe in the future. For like any of my cousins, but yeah, I think it was really cool. And how about you, Logan?
Yeah, no, similar vibes for sure. You definitely got the family feel for it. It kind of made me even think like, who would I want to make a quilt for? I'm not sure if you guys kind of maybe had that similar thought when we were looking around, but I've got a little nephew, similar to what you said with that kid aspect. Really just kind of love the environment in there. Maybe even if it was kind of like a mom-daughter type of situation, because obviously they do the classes and everything as we saw in there. So really, I mean, it kind of just made me excited to hopefully try some new arts and crafts myself.
Yeah, no, if I was gonna make a quilt, I'd probably make one for, I have a little cousin, so I think he'd really like a big quilt. I think he'd really enjoy that.
Yeah, and honestly, I thought it was really cool towards the end after we conducted the interview how she was nice enough to not only show us around the entire store, but we even got to see those cool long arm machines in the back. I had no idea what those are. Did you guys kind of think those were pretty cool?
Yeah, those are really cool, honestly, and especially coming from like a quilting family, like it's something like really cool to like finish your quilt and like being able to like see like all these like intricate details and patterns that you can make on a quilt. And just like watching it like finish and be complete is so fun and so rewarding.
I was enjoying trying to figure out how the machinery worked. That was what it was for me. It's like, this thing is massive, probably costs a ton of money. Like, you know, we didn't get to see it actually run, but I was enjoying looking at it and trying to figure out like, how does this thing make a quilt? Because it's really cool stuff.
Right.
You don't go and see one of these machines very often.
No.
You know, it's really, really cool.
Yeah.
But that'll be all from us here at Huskies on the Road. Have a good night.
This past weekend, the Huskies were back at it as they welcomed the Arizona State Sun Devils to the Brooks Center.
Stabilized the blue line for the Huskies, a fantastic skater and playmaker.
Damon Garner and Vernon Yetnin both do an excellent job speeding traffic.
In that same inning, Blaine Guthrie, he goes yard to make it 5-3 Huskies.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. But only you can prevent wildfires.
Everyone has a ritual that small thing that keeps us focused. A habit we never skip to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game, to drown out the self-doubt and support your mental health? Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and mental health. Discover the resources you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
Do you want to watch people sit in front of a camera awkwardly and talk? Well, watch Husky tonight on UTVS and streaming on the UTVS app.
Stops, changes directions, comes up with 20 seconds left, loops a red shot, he scores!